Just south of the towers of Miami, the land quietly gives way to water, and a national park begins where most others would end. Here there are almost no roads and few trails, because 95% of this park is sea. Turquoise shallows stretch to the horizon, green mangrove islands float on the tide, and beneath the gentle waves, a living coral reef glows in the sunlight. It is one of the most unusual protected places in the country, a wilderness you enter not by land but by boat. Welcome to Biscayne National Park. We are on the southeastern edge of Florida, just below the sprawl of Miami and north of the long chain of the Florida Keys. The park gathers up the northern reaches of Biscayne Bay, a broad, shallow lagoon sheltered from the open Atlantic by a slender string of islands. On one side lies the busy mainland shore, and on the other the deep blue ocean, and between them rests this bright, quiet world of water, reef, and green low islands basking under the tropical sun. Biscayne is a park you measure in blues and greens rather than trails and summits. It protects four worlds that flow into one another: the tangled mangrove forest along the shoreline, the shallow turquoise waters of the bay, a scattered string of coral and limestone islands, and out beyond them the living reef. Together they form a single connected wilderness, each part feeding the next. To know this place, you must set out across the water and let the sea itself become the path. Along the mainland shore, the land dissolves into a dense green tangle of mangrove trees. Their arching roots stand in the salt water like 1,000 slender legs, holding firm against the tides and slowly building the coastline itself. This shadowy forest is one of the largest stretches of undisturbed mangrove shoreline left in the region. It buffers the land from storms, filters the water that flows toward the bay, and forms a living green wall between the crowded mainland and the quiet sea. Among those flooded roots hides one of the busiest cradles of ocean life. The shelter of the mangroves gives countless young creatures a place to grow, and so this shadowy edge is often called a nursery of the sea. Tiny fish, crabs, and shrimp shelter in the maze of roots, safe from larger hunters, until they are ready to move out into the open bay and reef. Much of the abundance that fills these waters begins here, in the calm green nurseries along the shore. Beyond the mangroves opens the bay itself, a vast sheet of clear, shallow water glowing in every shade of turquoise and jade. In many places it is only a few feet deep, so the sunlight reaches all the way to the bottom and lights up meadows of swaying seagrass below. Those underwater meadows feed and shelter their own quiet crowds, grazing turtles, drifting rays, and slow, gentle giants. Calm and luminous, the bay is the bright, warm heart of the park. Strung across the seaward edge of the bay lies a necklace of small islands, the northernmost of the Florida Keys. Built from ancient coral and limestone and crowned with tropical hardwood forest, these keys stand as a low green barrier between the sheltered bay and the open ocean. Their quiet shores and hidden coves once gave refuge to sailors, castaways, and outlaws alike. Today they drowse in the sun, wild and largely untouched, reachable only across the water. Just offshore of the Keys lies the true crown of the park, the northernmost living coral reef in the continental United States. Here, over thousands of years, tiny coral animals have built vast stony gardens beneath the waves, ridges and mounds, and delicate branching shapes in 100 forms. It is part of the Great Reef system that runs down the length of the Florida coast, and this bright shallow stretch of it is protected for all who come to marvel at it. To drift above the reef is to hover over a crowded city of color. Schools of fish shimmer past in silver and gold, and vivid parrotfish graze on the coral, their beak-like mouths crunching softly as they go. Sea turtles glide by on ancient wings, sponges and sea fans wave in the current, and everywhere small darting lives flash among the coral heads. Warm, clear, and teeming, these waters hold one of the richest gatherings of marine life anywhere along the coast. Among the most beloved residents of these warm shallows is the manatee, a huge and gentle plant-eating giant that drifts slowly through the seagrass meadows. Cousins of no fish at all, these rounded creatures browse peacefully on the underwater greenery and rise now and then to breathe at the surface. Slow, curious, and utterly harmless, they have long been guarded here in the calm waters of the bay, a quiet symbol of the tender life these protected shallows hold. Long before any park existed, these shores belonged to the Tequesta, a people who lived along the bay for thousands of years. They fished its rich waters, gathered shellfish among the mangroves, and traveled the shallows in dugout canoes, leaving behind mounds of shell where their villages once stood. To them, this was not wilderness but home, a generous coast that fed them season after season. Their long presence is the deepest layer of the human story woven through this bright, watery land. In later centuries, these islands and reefs earned a wilder reputation. The shallow reef was a hidden danger, and many a sailing ship tore open its hull on the coral in the dark. Pirates once hid among the secret coves of the Keys, and after them came the wreckers, hardy folk who made their living salvaging cargo from ships that ran aground. The bright reef that draws visitors today was for a long age a place of shipwreck, plunder, and hard fortune upon the sea. To answer that danger, tall lighthouses were raised upon the reef, their iron legs planted straight into the coral so their lamps could warn ships away from the shallows. Standing far out where the bay meets the open ocean, these skeletal towers watched over the dark water for generations, guiding mariners safely past the hidden ledges. Weathered now by salt and storm, they still rise above the waves, quiet sentinels marking the long partnership of people and sea in this place. The many ships lost upon this reef have left an underwater museum behind them. Scattered across the sea floor lie the remains of vessels from across the centuries, and the park has linked them into a maritime heritage trail, a route of shipwrecks that visitors can explore beneath the surface. Draped in coral and circled by fish, these silent hulls have become part of the reef itself, a place where history and living ocean have grown gently together over time. Astonishingly, this whole watery wilderness was very nearly lost. There were plans to fill the bay, to raise a new city of concrete and causeways upon these shallows, and it was only the effort of determined local people that saved it instead. Because of them, the bay was set aside and protected, kept wild for everyone who follows. And so it remains a park you explore by boat, gliding out across the turquoise water into a wilderness that begins where the roads finally end. A shoreline of tangled mangroves, a shallow turquoise bay, a string of quiet coral keys, and a living reef glowing beneath the waves, all held together in one rare park that is almost entirely sea. Thank you for watching. Follow for more interesting people, places, and things we cover on the channel.